Hello. Hi y'all, how y'all doing? First of all, I'm so tired. Don't judge me. Um I'm so excited. I am having another Real Talk Tuesday. And I'm so excited to have my friend, my sister, somebody that goes to church with me on tonight. I can't wait for us to talk and just be real, raw, and relevant with you guys tonight. Y'all don't judge my little chingy eyes. I'm not gonna lie, I'm tired, I'm sleepy. I've been working all day, literally. So with no further ado, I'm gonna add Janelle on and get this rolling. Oops, wrong one. I think I did it. Did I do it? Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
honey.
Hey, how are you doing? Oh, our connection. I don't see you.
Oh, okay. Hey,
How, how are
I'm
you?
good. I'm good,
Good. Thanks
girl.
for being on my live tonight with me.
You're welcome.
Welcome. You are my fourth person on, so this is exciting.
Yay.
I have a problem. Maybe you can help me out tonight.
Okay, what's your
After
problem?
you tell us what you do first. I'll start there. Tell the people what you do. Um, what businesses you got going on. What you got. Who are you? Who's
Okay.
Janelle?
Okay. So, for the people out there, my name is Janelle Dossey. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist and also a life coach where I am specifically working with mothers. I recently wrote a book called The Mommy Makeover of the Mind, a mother's guide to reshape, rebuild, and redefine her life. I have my own private practice where I do online therapy,
Yes.
and I have, a number of other things that I have in the works, but, just trying to move on up.
That's an inspiration. That is why I said, I gotta get Janelle on here because you just got so many things going,
Yeah.
like back to back. So what I'm struggling with is I'm just gonna be honest and real for the people.
Okay.
I am horrible, Janelle. My consistency. How are you so consistent? Because one, you have a podcast,
Yes, I do have a podcast.
have a book coming, and with all of these things, you have to be consistent. Sorry,
Yes.
it's coming in the house, but you have to be consistent with these things. You're showing up for the people every week. Because when you do your podcast, you do it every week, or
Well, we went down to doing it bi-weekly, but we were doing it weekly, but now it's bi-weekly.
okay,
And we recently took a break again, another break. But we were doing it every other week. So I think a lot of times it's a mentality thing. So for me, when it came to writing this book, I knew I needed to get it out. And so I knew that I had to dedicate a lot of time to be able to get it out. So if that meant for me waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning because I could not do it at night, I couldn't do it at work. So I had to figure out, okay, what is the best time for me to be able to do this thing, which was a lot of times at 5 o'clock in the morning. And so I would wake up every morning for, I think, for a month and a half, I woke up every day at 5 for the most part. And, some days I sleep in too, but yeah, I had to dedicate my time to be able to get this thing done. And when you commit yourself to something and you know how important it is to get it out, no excuses can be made. And so that was my mentality the entire time was I have a deadline. I know when I need to get this out, and I stuck with it. So
That is amazing. Wow. So how long was the process for
it
you?
was, I started it January 1st. So top of the year.
This year?
Yep.
Uh,
And no, 2020. Yep. And the crazy thing is, so I had went to a speaker conference or whatever because I was sort of kind of interested in doing speaking, and I still am. And while I was there, the person who was leading it was saying, was talking about the importance of writing a book. So I started thinking, and I hadn't even realized that I already had the outline already. Like God had already given it to me. Everything was already written down. Like the chapters, the chapter names, everything. Cause I was already thinking about working with mothers. I just didn't know in what way. And so with him saying that, me getting home, and I literally told my husband, Kelly, I was like, here's the book. Literally, this is the outline of the book. I already have it written out. For the most part, at this point, all I have to do is just write. And January 1st, I was like, I'm starting, and I started January 1st. For me to actually write everything out took me like 2 months. And then the editing process is what took the longest.
Wow, Janelle, that is amazing.
Thank
Has
you.
uses. So how can people find this book?
Amazon has it. Yep.
Okay.
It's the only platform right now that has the book, and you just go on Amazon, type in The Mommy Makeover the Mind, it should pop up.
Okay, so what is this book all about? Like give us a little I guess a little teaser, or I guess just let us in a little bit. Like
Okay. So,
what is it about? I'm not a mommy, so
right. So what the book is about, so a lot of times I would hear my moms come in for therapy, and it was kind of the same thing. I feel like I'm losing my mind. I don't have any time for myself. I'm losing my identity. I had some mothers who came in whose kids had recently graduated from high school, and they're like, I have no idea who I am anymore. And so that's kind of what sparked it, because it was like, I'm hearing the same thing over and over again. And then even when I look at my own self, and I can see how easy it is to start losing yourself when you become a mom, because you're dedicating so much time to your kids, you're pouring so much into them, you're trying to raise them. And so at some point you start to completely neglect your own self. And next thing you know, 18 years go by, and you are like, what is going on? Who am I? And so that is basically the premise of the book, is to help mothers maintain their emotional health, maintain their mental health, because if we're healthy as moms, then it's easier for us to be able to teach our kids how to also maintain their mental and emotional health as well. And so that is, I think, a pretty good synopsis of the book.
great.
Yeah.
So while we're talking about mental health,
Yes.
question for you. So what's going on in the world? We already know. And it's been like I've been on this major emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
And it has, especially with social media, and that's just who I am.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person that, like, yes, this might not be my cousin or my brother or my dad, but I feel people,
Yeah.
like my heart is just so tender. Like I would cry at the drop of a dime,
Yeah.
so like this is just, I mean, it's just death after death
Yeah.
after death.
Yeah.
And it's in our city. Like, not saying that nobody else mean anything, that's going around in the world, but like when it hits home and it's
Yeah.
home, like when is this gonna stop? So my
Right.
you
Yes.
is how important is mental health, like going, I guess, to therapy for the Black community.
Mm-hmm.
Like how important is that to you? or like what advice could you give on that?
So, okay, so you asked me two questions. One
Yeah.
being, how do we survive in a time like this? And
Yes.
two, about Black mental health.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So I completely agree with you. It is a very hard time that we're living in, and it's been happening since 2012, right? Well, not since 2012. It's been happening since, I guess, Black people have been in America. But in terms of the media, in terms of it being recorded, all of those things have been
Right.
consistent for the past, 8 years since Trayvon. And
Right.
so to see it constantly over and over and over again, I for myself, I had to stop watching it because it was trauma after trauma after trauma that we were witnessing.
Yeah.
And one thing people don't even realize a lot of times is you can still get PTSD from witnessing things.
Yeah.
And the more you continue to watch that kind of stuff, you can start to experience symptoms of PTSD as well. And so after realizing that, I have to separate myself from that because I'm like, I can't keep watching my Black people keep getting killed. And I think for Landro, when I didn't even watch that video, that was the one when I put my foot down and said, no more. I'm not going to keep watching this stuff over and over and over again. And it almost, and I don't know if you saw my post the other day about how people are starting to become so desensitized to it, where it's like, well, he shouldn't have resisted. It's like, no, like, this is not okay. Like, at some point, we can't just be like, well, I mean, he had it coming. No, that's not okay. And so,
Exactly.
like you were saying, like how you still have a heart, I think that's important. We have to be empathetic to a lot of these situations. We can't just be like, well, oh well, I've
It's
seen worse. It just
me.
happened. It didn't. Right, right, right. So, I had posted on that post about making sure you still separate from social media when necessary and make sure you practice self-care because it is emotionally exhausting
Right.
to have to consistently. It's like you wake up and you hear another story about it again. And so we have to be able to give ourselves an emotional break. I was at a couple weeks ago, I was like, I need to just watch something funny. So I went on ahead and started watching Scary Movie 1 and 2. I was like, oh, there goes Joanna Man. Let me go ahead and watch this just to be able to give my mind a
Yes.
a break. And how I am, I get so invested in stuff. So I'm looking at everything on
Me.
social media.
Yes.
I'm like, what's happening now? What's all the comments saying?
Yes. And I'm so involved. I done went to Atlanta and I
I
done
saw you marching.
listen now,
Yeah.
this is an experience.
Yeah. I went in 2016. I went marching in 2016.
Listen.
Yeah.
Okay, how was your experience? Let's just go and put it out there. How was your experience?
So I loved it. It felt so, I don't know, like empowering. It just felt right. And I
Right.
felt like, like to be around so many people that got it, it just felt good. And then I think at the time, because did y'all go on the highway?
We did. Well, we were where the police station downtown
Uh-huh.
marched to the Wendy's.
Okay.
Actually got killed.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. How far
So
of a walk was that?
that was like 4 miles.
Wow.
Listen, my feet were hurting, sis.
Yes.
Like, oh, I'm like, I'm getting old.
Right.
My
Right.
starting to ache. Like, oh, I gotta do something. Like,
Yes.
but anyway, like, I feel the same way. I actually felt so good
Yeah.
doing it. Seeing older people there, like elderly, like hardly can walk, elderly,
Wow.
out, young babies, like, it was just so inspiring and it
Yeah.
was peaceful. I'm gonna say that it was pretty peaceful, but at the end, like, I kind of got a little shit, a little shooken up
Uh-huh.
because one, we was at the Wendy's and we was all praying.
Yeah.
You're good, I'm good.
Yeah.
I hear people, I hear things.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh shoot. Like, I don't know. And it's getting dark. And my parents
Yeah.
please, please, please try to get home before it gets dark.
Yeah.
That's when like the looters are coming out and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh snap! Like I hope this is not like, a ton of them coming or something. So
Yeah.
hear things and we all just go out, and it's a whole nother crew coming. That's
What?
marked. Yeah, so we like kind of combined. We're like cheering them on. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
so amazing.
Wow.
Up, we all was marching to the highway.
Uh-huh.
Now I didn't know this until coming back home. And I'll be real, I don't watch the news like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's so, I get so sad.
Yeah. It's
I
depressing.
know it's informative. I know I need to know my surroundings and what's going on, but I just can't, Janelle.
Yeah.
I need to do better, but
I don't watch the news either. I get all my news on Twitter.
I didn't know that they said like you wasn't supposed to go on the highway. So we all combined. Now this is a whole bunch of people together.
Yes.
And I think my mom said we was on the news because people were climbing this hill, this mountain. It wasn't no mountain, but like this hill to the
Yeah.
house, like holding up our signs, and it was nothing but policemen at the gate, like
Mm-hmm.
at the pole thing at the front,
Yeah.
like the highway.
Yeah.
It's kind of raining, so like my feet start slipping and people were like climbing up this hill. I couldn't get up because I'm slipping.
Yes.
But I'm just gonna stand down here at the bottom.
Uh-huh.
Some of my friends made it up.
Uh-huh.
So when they made it up, I could see nothing but police. And then we had so many of us, we backed them up. Like they literally had to back up.
Wow.
So when they got at the top, it was nothing but police, and they were like in their suits, and they was tear gassing and all that stuff. Like
wow.
Yes, she got pushed in the chest by police, and then all of a sudden it just started raining like dogs and cats. So
yes.
Like and all I see is policemen. It was like 100 of them, I swear. It felt like, or it seemed like 100.
Yeah.
At us on four-wheelers, like
on four-wheelers.
Yes, four-wheelers, sis, and all these vests and like these big old helmets with like the glass covering, like the shield, all of that, like just coming towards me. Then I hear a gun, like then I hear somebody shoot.
What?
Yes,
that's crazy.
So it was an experience.
Yes.
It was an experience, but I do not regret it at all.
Yeah,
yeah. Before I even went, I was praying while I was there. I was like, if it's my time, then it's my time. And I'm going out, on something that is important. Like I feel like this was right. Like,
right.
I was happy with being there. So it was definitely an experience that I will never forget. I'll be my children about it.
Mm-hmm.
My grandkids, if I live that long. But it was
God willing.
And yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Enough of that. We talking about you. About your podcast.
Yes, ma'am.
How did you get that started? Like, how did you know what vein to go into with it?
So, I do the podcast with my friend Oprah. Yeah. And we met in our master's program, and she's basically like my sister. We it was like as soon as we got into the master's program, it was like an instant connection, like how you just look to that one person and you're like, okay, yeah. And so me and her just always connected with each other. And so God actually like told her like, y'all need to go ahead and get this podcast started. Because, a lot of times we just talk and talk and talk. We like, oh, this is what I want to do. Oh, yeah, this is what I want to do. And we never put any action towards it. It's just all talk. And that's another reason why I was like, I just got to do the book. And that's another reason why I was like, I just got to start my practice. Because everything is just talk. I've been talking for like the past, I don't know how many years. And if I say that I want to make this year my year, well, what does that mean? Okay. The only way it's gonna be my year is if I actually take the step to make it my year. And so God like spoke to her and was like, you know, y'all really need to get this podcast started. And she called me the next day because we had talked about it before. She called me. This was 2019, I think.
Wow.
And same thing, January 1st. Thank you. January 1st, 2019, we had our meeting and we said, all right, so what's this podcast going to be about? And we knew we wanted to incorporate Christianity and mental health because, you know, we both are, you know, God-fearing, Jesus-loving Christians. And we realized that, you know, the church doesn't talk enough about mental health. And for me personally, I had been dealing with anxiety, which I didn't even realize probably since high school. And when I got into my master's program and started connecting the dots, that's when I realized, wait a minute, I'm super anxious. And I talked to my mom about it. And her response was, okay, let me give you a list of scriptures. And I'm like, this does nothing for me. Like, it actually upset me that she gave me a list of scriptures. And I'm like, thank you for the list of scriptures. However, what I'm dealing with right now, that's not going to help me because I don't even fully understand this. I don't even understand like what the worry means. I don't understand all these things. All I know is I'm in my master's program. I'm reading the symptoms. I can't sleep for weeks, you know, at a time. I don't think I've really got a good night of sleep for 2 years, I wasn't getting a good night of sleep.
What?
So, yep, I would wake up 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning daily. And my mind just going. And I just could not control it for nothing. And so her giving me that list of scriptures, and then with Oprah's, her own personal experiences and things like that, we were like, the church really needs to get a grip and get a grasp on mental health instead of saying, oh, that's the devil, for example. You know, somebody's depressed and it's, oh, that's the devil. And it's like, well, let's actually talk about this a little bit more and as it pertains to what this person's going through. And so that's kind of what sparked the idea for the podcast, which is called The Imperfect Couch. And so
follow it. You can go on it's the podcast app, right?
Yeah, on Apple, Spotify.
Yes. It's so good, you guys. Please go follow her. It's so good. They talk really good stuff.
Yeah. So that's where the idea sparked from, and then we were like, again, we just needed to do. So I think we started officially with our first episode in February. Yes. And so both of us at this point, because we've taken our steps, individual steps, God has continued to work in our lives because we keep making actionable steps, you know? Right. And so for her, she's now venturing into doing purpose coaching, where she's working with women or people. I can't even limit it to women about, you know, their purpose. Yeah. So my advice to everybody is you got to take the step. You got to take the first step. Even if it's a baby step, you got to take a step.
That's true. So how did you know, what made you go into
LMFT?
Yes. What made you decide with that?
Okay. So interestingly enough, when I entered college, I was a psychology major. And I, at the time, did not want to go pursue a master's, doctorate, none of that stuff. I said, I'm going to get this 4-year degree and keep it moving. But I started hearing so many people that were like, if you get a bachelor's in psychology, ain't nothing, you're not going to get a job.
Please.
So
I have friends that told thank God.
So I ended up switching my major to mass communications, like that was any better. But at the time, I thought that was better. So I ended up getting my undergrad in mass communications. And then I decided to go back to school to get my master's in business. I was working towards my MBA just because. Like, I had no real path, nothing. I'm just doing stuff just because. And so Kelly was like, like, what do you want to do with your life? Like, you just in school at this point just because. And I mean, he was right, because I was like, I mean, I could use a business degree at some point, right? Like, I had no, like, nothing. And so when I like sat and thought about it, I was like, what do I like to do? And the three things I said I like to do is I like talking. That's number one. The
Mhm.
other thing I like is couples. I love, like, that's been my thing. Like, I just love talking
Me
about relationships, like all that stuff. Like, I love that. And I think I said I like, and I want to help the Black community, the Black families specifically.
too.
So I
Okay.
was like, is there such thing called, I don't know, marriage and family therapist? I had no idea that was a thing until I literally typed in marriage and family therapist and was like, oh my God, there's an actual degree called marriage and family therapy. And so from there, I got started into that, and that's how the whole thing happened.
Wow. So after that, did you start your life coaching?
No, so I'm actually going from therapy to life coaching at this point, because I think that, well, talking constantly about mental health can
Hmm.
be very taxing on my own mental health.
True.
Um, and so I started to hear a little bit more about the coaching field and how it's not so geared and centered to just the mental health issue that you're dealing with.
Right.
And so that's what made me start to consider coaching as well. And so I'm adding that, and I may at some point drop that in terms of just clientele,
Okay.
completely, and just deal with coaching moms.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Coaching on what? Is there a particular
Yes.
area? Just
So I'm going to be working with married moms
married.
who are struggling in their relationship.
Okay, it seems like with this coaching, it's very broad. Like you can do about anything. Like your friend is doing purpose coaching.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yep. She was just like, she just kept hearing, you need to work with people on purpose, 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 like when she would talk to God.
Hmm.
And so she was like, I really want to help people with their purpose. And so she was like, okay, I wonder if there is a thing called purpose coaching. And there are some people, if you go on Instagram, type in the hashtag purpose coach, you find somebody.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I need to hit this up because I'm struggling. I'm struggling. Like
Yes.
you so many things that you like. And like I don't think people realize there's a difference in
Mm-hmm.
passions and purpose.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
there's so many passions that I have, like so many things that I know I could do and I will be really good at it.
Yeah.
Like if I do that, like is that really the purpose of my,
Right.
I
Right.
don't like taking all this time up trying to do like these things that I enjoy, but it's not like what God wants for me. So
Yeah.
that's the battle I'm in right now with, I guess, with myself
Mm-hmm.
and so how did you know that was your purpose? You answered that, didn't you?
Well, I mean, I think I'm in my purpose. I think that your purpose is evolving. It's forever evolving, you know?
I,
And I do believe, like I put actually in my book about how some of your passions or your gifts and your talents can lead you to your purpose. So, for example, in the book I had put that, Will Smith, for example, he started off as a rapper, right?
mm-hmm,
That's his natural ability, is to be able to be a rapper.
right.
He starts rapping, but that wasn't his purpose. As you can see, he's continued to evolve, and now what he does is motivate young people. He's, on the talk shows, like he speaks very eloquently, and he provides a lot of motivation to so many people. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, that led him to his purpose. Him starting off as a rapper literally led him into what it is that he was supposed to do. If he never started rapping,
No
then what?
telling.
And it's so many people like that, where you have to use the gifts and talents and the past experiences that you've been in to be able to get to and understand more of your purpose. And so even for me, even though I say like my mass communications degree was a waste, the other day I was thinking, or God laid it on my heart, like, but why make it a waste? You know, you can still use it in some degree. Maybe not, it's not exactly in the way that you would have wanted to use it in terms of like being a director, but there are still some little nuggets that you learned along the way that you can still apply today. But
Right.
we look and we're like, oh, I just wasted 4 years, or I wasted my time doing this. When in actuality, what God was giving you was skills to be able to use it for a future endeavor. So like we always say, you know, everything happens for a reason. Like we always say stuff like that, or there was a purpose why I did this, and then we don't apply it later on in life.
True.
So it's important to remember, you know, like even for you right now, with you working, you work with eating disorders, right?
Yes.
So who knows?
Know what I do.
Oh.
So yes, I work with teens. But I do that. I don't do it full time anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on call, so when I do have the time, I go and help teens. They live in a residential setting, and they do have eating disorders. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm a counselor, if people do not know that it's part time. So my full time jobs, I work in a hospital. I work at Emory, and I also work at the Children's Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Help intellectual disability individuals with their jobs
Nice.
on a daily basis. So I feel like even in that, like I'm still counseling
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because they come with a lot complex, a lot of complex
Mm-hmm.
problems and disabilities and things like that. So I'm still using my skill
Mm-hmm.
in my now.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm thankful for. So I don't feel like I'm out of my field. Like I'm still in the same field.
Right. Yeah.
Still, I feel like I cancel their parents every day.
Right.
I'm still working in the field. So yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah. And so even with that, like right now you might be like, I know that there's more out there for me, but you never know what this experience can lead you to in the
Sure.
future. You know, your purpose is already inside of you. It's just a matter of you uncovering it. Because people be like, I lost my purpose. I don't know where it is. I don't know. And it's literally there. It's just you have to figure out how to tap into it and understand the gifts, the talents that you have, and the experiences that you already have gone through in ways that you can put all that together.
True.
Okay.
Wow. I'm funny because it's just funny because I was listening to a sermon and then everything that you're saying is kind of aligning with what I heard earlier today.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't even write no notes down. I didn't write any questions down. This is like literally natural conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is what I wanted this to be.
Yeah.
People that's watching for the first time, I wanted this to be a platform for women, especially that's thriving, that has new businesses, that are doing their thing, and you are one of those that's doing your thing. Clearly, a
Thank you,
year
girl.
you've already created a whole book. You have a podcast. You're now moving from therapist to a life coach. Like that's amazing.
Thank you,
Like
girl.
many people would, love to be able to move that quickly. Like I told you, I'm not the best with consistency. And
Yeah.
I know the downfall for me. And so
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on it. I feel like I've been showing up for my Real Talk Tuesdays because I'm not gonna lie. Like today, I'm like, whoo, I'm tired. Like I want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
But I have to continue showing up, like you said. Like you have to be consistent. If you want it, you got to go get it. And I got to stop making excuses for myself.
Yep. Yep.
Shoot my down. My own head is my worst enemy.
Absolutely. Yep.
I am my worst enemy.
Right.
I had to stop that and
Mm-hmm.
just, move forward. And like you said, whatever God has said to me, I need to believe in that and move in that.
Yep.
And so,
You want to know what the number one excuse is?
what
At
is the
least
number?
I think it is the number one.
What is the number one excuse?
I'm tired.
Okay, I made an excuse. Yes, but I am dead tired though. I
And see, the thing with that, the reason why I say it's an excuse is because a lot of times we're not tired, but the moment you say I'm tired, your brain's like, "Yep, we tired. Yep, let me just chill out on the couch for a second." But you be awake, you can move, you can function, and you just be like, "But I'm just mentally tired right now." If you can get over that, then you'll be able to get through so much more things. Because same thing for me, when I was waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I would wake up and be like, I'm still tired. And I'm like, nah, bruh, like, you good. Like, you can get up, you can go. And I can actually get up and go do it. But the moment you give into that I'm tired, yep, it's over.
I gotta stop that. I gotta
Yep.
stop.
Yep.
I gotta stop.
Yep. I
Well,
was talking.
pray for me, sis.
I'll pray for you.
You know, you're an inspiration, so that's why you're on here. And I'm so proud of you. And I wish you the best. Please tell everybody how they can get your book, where we can go for your podcast, and how they can even get your services. Like, if I want to be life coach, where do I go to get your service?
Okay. So the first thing for my book, go on Amazon.com, type in the Mommy Makeover the Mind, should pop up. To get therapeutic services, you could go to JanelleDawsey.com. And for coaching services, you go to mommymakeovercoaching.com. And if you just want to follow me in general, you can go to Janelle Dawsey on Instagram, or you can find me on Facebook at Janelle Dawsey. And those, I think, are all my handles. Let me spell it: JANELLEDAWSEY. So that's for my website. That's for my Instagram. And then again, for coaching, Mommy Makeover Coaching.
That is awesome. So let's get to the fun part.
Okay, let's get to the fun part.
Now, this supposed to be like 30 minutes to an hour, but you know, I always run over it. This is my Instagram, so I feel like I can do whatever I want, right?
Yes, you can.
So, this is the Velvet Bowl.
Ooh.
Yes. So this is basically giving your viewers a chance to see behind the velvet curtain.
Ooh,
Right?
okay.
So I have things in this bowl that I want, whatever I pull out, I want you to explain or like just be real raw and relevant about whatever it is. And if it hits you in a certain way, tell us how it hits you. Like, how do you relate to it? Whatever you're feeling, just
Okay.
us how. Now, I'm telling you, I don't know what you're gonna get, sis, and
Okay.
it's so. Let's see what we got.
Alrighty.
Ooh, this is perfect for you.
Uh-oh.
All right, I got the word depression.
Depression. Okay. Like you said, perfect for me. I talk about it not every day at this point, but I talk about it most days. I think that when it comes to depression, a lot of people struggle with depression and may not even realize it. So I was talking to my dad the other day about in my childhood how even though he was physically present, he wasn't really emotionally present. And I was like, you know, it's very possible that you could have been dealing with depression because he was losing his job. I think he kept getting laid off. It was just a number of things that were happening. And he would spend so much time just sitting on the couch, just all day, every day. He was just completely disengaged. And I was like, it's very likely that you probably were experiencing some form of depression. And I think a lot of people don't even recognize and realize that they are experiencing depression. They may not even realize, okay, my thoughts are becoming extremely negative. A lot of times people are like, oh, well, I'm not suicidal, so I'm good, without realizing that it is a deeper process to depression. I don't know if you saw that. My phone kind of paused for a second.
It did, but you're back on.
Okay. Or people don't even recognize their behaviors that tell them that they're depressed. So for example, I'll talk to my clients and I'm like, are you isolating yourself a little bit more? Do you realize you're starting to turn off your phone a little bit more? Are you eating a lot more? Are you sleeping a lot more? And sometimes we just be like, oh, I'm just I'm not in a good mood. I'm just, but not even realizing ways that it's contributing to your depression, or that it could be the start of you going into a depressive spiral. So depression is a very complex topic.
Very.
And I think it's like maybe 1.5 million people in America are depressed. That's a pretty good amount. It might be higher than that actually, and I do think that in a time like this, with everything that's going on, yeah, it's very likely that some people will start to experience more depression. Quarantine going on, Black people dying, it's a lot. So get you some mental health therapy though if you are.
I agree on that.
Yeah.
Wow. This has been amazing.
Yeah.
I want to speak. I don't even know what to say after that. Like, whew, that's heavy. Because, just to be real, I tend to see little things creeping up with me. Like, just for instance, like stacking up stuff in my room, or like, not like being as, I guess, like clutter or like things like that. Just like, I don't know, like being isolated and things like that. Like, it's like, yo, snap out of it. But the most people that struggle with these things are the ones that serve people that go things. And I serve people struggle. I serve people that, is constantly trying to kill themselves or think that they're less than. And like I told you before, like I feel people. So a lot of the times I put a lot of burdens on myself. Not even all of my burdens.
Yeah.
But that's just who I am. And I'm trying to, get a balance of Joanna. Like, when work is done, let work be done.
Yep.
Profit.
Yep.
Instead of like taking it home.
Absolutely.
And I'm struggling with it as well. So
one thing I used to do, because I used to work at the mental health hospital, I would I put a eucalyptus scent in my car just to subconsciously relieve some of my stress. And I know it made a difference so much, because I had an hour drive home. So I was like, I didn't even realize at the time that that's what I was doing, was using that as a way of coping. But just having that scent, I think it just registered the relaxation in my brain. It switched things over in my brain, so that way I didn't have to think about all the nonsense that I had to deal with inside the hospital. I shouldn't call it nonsense, but in terms of,
I feel it.
Because a lot of times it had more to do with not the patients, everything else. So, but with depression, a lot of times what I've been seeing is that it starts with an anxious mind, and then it ends up turning into a depressive mind. So like I said, when I was dealing with my anxiety for a long time, I was looking at old pictures of myself, and I didn't even realize how much darker my circles had gotten under my eyes.
I go there. You see my eyes? I ain't getting no rest, sis, to be real. Like, I'm crying a lot of just, like, not just being real tonight. I'm really being real tonight. I don't know what's going on. But,
yeah,
like, it's real. Yeah. Like, the anxious mind, like, turns into that. Like, I'm very, like, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, and like, sis, last thing, I know these people like, girl, you going so long. Last thing, you got a beautiful family.
Oh, right? Thank you.
Sis, I'm at what? I'm 29. I know people are gonna be like, girl, you shouldn't be worried about no man. You should be single and living your life. Okay, well, I'm the type of chick that have always thought, how I am. Oh man, I'm gonna be wiped up.
Yeah. Right. Your time is coming, girl.
That is the ring.
Right.
Not here. You know what I'm saying? So it can be challenging. Like, just like, God, is it ever gonna happen? Am I gonna be too old to where I can't have kids? And then this world that we living in, I don't even know if I want to even produce any babies.
I
Like, you know what
know.
I'm saying? Like, I don't even know if I want to have them.
Yeah.
Being in this crazy world where I have to worry about my child living out the house, or I have to teach my child at 1 year old, like, look, baby, if you get pulled over, I need you to make sure that you put your hands up and all this stuff, like at one, or
Yeah.
telling them at my point is telling them at a young age they shouldn't be worried about no cops or
Exactly.
being pulled over.
Yeah.
Like, they're not conversations that I should have with a child.
Right. Exactly.
So it's like, dude, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Did you see the picture or the video of that little boy who's playing basketball, who saw the cop coming and hid behind his car?
No.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yep.
See,
Yeah.
I just can't. My heart just can't deal
Yeah,
with
it really is sad. And I'm hopeful that maybe this go round things will change. Because um the awareness seems to be growing more, at least from what I'm seeing outside of the companies and things like that, who I think have some of them have a different reason for why are getting on board. But I
it.
do think that a lot of people are actually waking up and increasing their awareness to what is going on. So I was actually speaking to one of my clients today who is white, and they were saying that they're reading White Fragility, and I gave them some resources too to look up this person, because I think at this point they some of them recognize, okay, yeah, this is a real issue, and because of the many posts that people have been posting about Black people being tired of having to constantly explain things over and over again, and then realizing, okay, it is my personal responsibility to understand this. I have another white client who was talking about her best friend's father, who said something very racist, and she was like, wait a second, and so me even hearing that from my white clients, I think that's what gives me some hope. And I do think that the other part of it, because back in 2015, 2014, I was very like pro-Black, and I think that with me working with the clientele that I work with now, helped me help my heart, I should say, where I wasn't as furious with our white counterparts. I don't know how to say that politically correct, but I realized it was a heart thing that I had to work through, where I couldn't just hate everyone. And so I think working with a lot of my white clients, I realized, okay, I can't be, as emotionally, or I can't be as angry with white people as a whole. Because if I get that angry, I can't work with you. I can't be the best therapist for you. And it's not to erase my Blackness or anything like that. It's just so I know that how I need to show up in the room, basically. And I give them space to also talk about it as well. So I get engaged in certain conversations with my clients, depending on what side of the line I know that they're on.
Right.
If they're willing to bring it up, I definitely talk to them about it. So yeah, it's a crazy time we living in.
I can't believe we living in it.
I know.
Like,
2020, and we still here. We still talking about the same thing.
still
And
here.
so, and I think that's why I think I am hopeful this go round. I have to be hopeful this go round, or else I'm gonna lose my mind.
Exactly. I feel that, sis.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
want to give up.
me, I'm never gonna give up.
Yeah.
I can't. If it's gonna start somewhere, it got to start with me.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
So I the example that I want to see. So I have to do what I got to do, or treat people like I want to be treated. Even though they might not treat me the best.
Yeah.
So I just gotta be that change, and it starts with me.
Yeah.
So again, Janelle, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Questions on here, actually.
Any
And
questions?
I see. Is this the Oprah that you're talking about? That does the purple?
Yes, that's Miss Oprah.
I'll be in touch, sis. Yeah, so if anybody have any questions, you can ask Janelle anything. I'll give you a couple minutes. Maybe I just need to make this an hour because I always hit over 40 every time. Yes, I feel that over.
Amen. Yes.
We have to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it looks like nobody have any questions, Janelle. So again, thank you so much for
You're
joining
welcome.
me, and thank you for checking me. You know, that's
Yeah.
that. No, I need to chin up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because you're right. I can't be making excuses for myself, and I
Yeah.
do that. I tend to do that.
Thank you, girl.
Now,
Thank you, sis.
yes, she is. So thank you again for the chin up, sis. You're right.
Yeah.
Or I'm tired. You know, I just got to get it done. Or I need to be better with my time management.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, mine. So I just got to get it together, one foot at a time.
One
You
foot at a time. Remember again, any step is a step. Okay? Don't
know,
matter how big or small, any step is a step.
that's exactly right. So thank you,
You're welcome.
my fourth person on Real Talk Tuesday. I hope this blesses somebody. If you're depressed, if you're stressing out, you have anxiety, listen, Janelle is the person to go to. She gave you all of her information. I'm gonna put her link on my or her link is on my story. So if you want to check her out, please go check her out. Follow. Go follow that podcast. Go get her
Yes.
and go to her office if you got some mental issues. Okay, so
Yes.
get right. You know, we got to take time for ourselves. We have to, if that means going to therapy, don't be ashamed of therapy.
Yes. Do not be ashamed.
Problems.
Yep.
We all need somebody that's skilled, not just your
Your
friend.
home girl.
Some, sis, get together. You know what I'm saying? Like, get it together. You need to do this. Then no, get some real counseling. Somebody that's skilled in this. Not just your friend talk.
Yep.
Like therapy, really weep. Like this stuff is emotionally draining, and you need somebody that can be able to refill you and give you the advice that you need to move forward.
Absolutely.
That's enough. I need to stop talking. Okay, so Janelle, again, thank you. And good night, guys.
Good night.
In 2 weeks from now, I have my next Real Talk Tuesday. Bye.
Bye-bye.